Hello. Okay, so this was gonna be an ASMR channel, and I was like, you know what? This could be like a lifestyle video, but I don't have a life. Oh, you know what? They're in the box that you're sitting on. All right. Hi. Oh my god. I almost dropped it. That's okay. Okay. We're here. We're back. We're back. I'm realizing I deleted the part where I explain what's going on. So basically, I'm reviewing books for my British literature class. I'm not doing a great job of it, but at least I tried. This is my first video. We'll see what happens. Okay, enjoy my chaotic mess. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna go in order of what we read. Just a quick FYI, we were supposed to read The Christmas Carol, or A Christmas Carol, but Corona and time, so it's not in the stack of books. Oh, here's the stack of books. It looks pretty thick, but it actually wasn't that bad, surprisingly. So we started off with, oh, I guess I should, okay, so I go to college. I know I don't look old, but, or old enough, but I go to UT, Austin, and I'm a biochem major, but I actually like English a lot more, maybe. No hard feelings on biochem, but it kind of just kills your soul. So yeah, I'm taking British literature with Professor Mullen, great guy, love him. And yeah, I guess I should just go into it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. Like I said, we would have had 6. Am I counting? Oh wait, we have 6 books. We would have had 5. This is why I gotta be in calculus. Anyway, okay. So yeah, we started with the Uncommon Reader, and this is actually a really good thing to start with. It was really easy to read and obviously really short. It's a novella, not a novel. Novella is shorter than a novel. And let's see. This is about Queen Elizabeth and her dogs, and basically Queen Elizabeth becomes more knowledgeable as she reads more and more, but people don't like that she's reading. And then she starts writing, and you know what I took from this and like what we talked about was, in a way, it was kind of the loss of innocence in her own world, because she was realizing she was becoming more compassionate with the people around her instead of just being like this government figure. And you know, people didn't really like that she was reading, and I kind of take that as people don't like when you're compassionate. And I actually kind of, when I was reading this, I took into consideration the STEM jobs, and I don't know, I just feel like a lot of people in STEM aren't as compassionate as the humanities, and I think we need to change that. Okay, anyway, and basically people don't like that she's reading because she's kind of not prioritizing her duties. And so when she starts writing, she becomes active, and they kind of like that more because she's not just sitting around, she's actually doing something. And she starts writing her own thoughts, and she just becomes more of a human, which is great because we kind of need more humans in the world. Yeah, this is a good book. I would recommend it. I don't really know what the point of this video is going to be. But yeah, good book. Good book. Beowulf! Okay, so this became a huge meme in my high school AP class. Ms. Vega, if you're out there, love you. Yeah, so actually, Beowulf and Macbeth, they were kind of harder to read, but since I had read them in high school, it was kind of easier, you know, like the second time around. So it wasn't a big deal this time. It was actually really easy to get through. I procrastinated a lot on the readings because I had already done them before, but still, it's fine. A lot of you may know Beowulf already, some of you may not. But Beowulf is about this hero who... Wait, what's the first thing he does? Oh shit, hold on. Isn't this great? I have a final coming up, but I don't even remember. Duh. Okay, Beowulf is the hero, that's his name. Oh, I didn't forget that. That's not what I forgot. I forgot about Grendel. Grendel is the first thing that happens. So Grendel is a monster from hell, and he terrorizes this city of people, and everyone's afraid, and he comes and he's like, I can help you kill Grendel. So they're like, oh my god, and they bow down at him and they treat him like a king, and it's a little weird actually because people fangirl over him, but I guess people fangirl over weird people these days too. So anyway, so he helps them out. He's able to kill the monster. Should I be saying this? Is this a little bit of a spoiler? Not really. Is it? Oh wait, I don't know how much I should be telling. There wasn't really a spoiler in the Uncommon Reader. So Beowulf is about this hero who goes to this city that's being terrorized by a monster to try to help them out, and then some shit happens and the monster's mommy isn't happy, and so he has to fight her, and then he ends up fighting a dragon at the end, and I won't let you know how things end up, but basically what I also got from this was kind of you need a it's okay to mess up, I guess, is what this was kind of portraying. And this is kind of also, this theme kind of comes in with Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, which we'll get into right now. But I guess that's kind of like the same theme between these two. Like, it's okay to mess up. Like, you're not perfect, so you can't have these high standards for yourself, because Beowulf was kind of this idolized man, and he was kind of expected to just win at everything, and then his ego built up more than it already was at the beginning, and he got blinded by his ego, and so then he messed up. He made a big boo-boo, and it was not okay, and it kind of like reminds you to put yourself in check. Like, you're not all that. You're gonna mess up if you don't let yourself think clearly or see clearly. The thing that has in relation to Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, so, is that this also talks about it being okay to mess up, but this is more of accepting you with all your flaws. This is more of like an acceptance type thing, whereas Beowulf is more of you mess up if you don't really pay attention to what you're doing, and if you let your ego blind you. That's, there you go. And so Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, again, I'll not spoil anything, is about a knight called Sir Gawain and another knight that is green. Sir Gawain is part of Arthur's table of knights. And this Green Knight comes and challenges him to this little game, and so the book kind of goes through Sir Gawain's travels to get to that knight, and he ends up in this castle, and he's kind of tested in this castle. He's tested morally, in a sense that there's a lot of temptations, like it's a temptation to run away and not take this challenge, or a temptation, like lustful temptations, and there's also like this temptation to what's the word, veer away from God and like lose your faith, which is another theme for this book. There's obviously a lot of themes for all the books. I'm only pointing out the main ones that we kind of talked about, although there were a lot of main ones that we talked about. But so like I said, for this one, when he's undergoing these trials, he gets really frustrated and angry with himself because he's realizing he's not this perfect knight. And knights had kind of this code that they were supposed to go by in order to be considered a knight. You know, they were supposed to be chivalrous, they were supposed to be honorable and courageous and everything. And these trials that he went through kind of proved that he wasn't all of those things, or he had flaws in almost every category. And when he was kind of exposed, he got really angry, and that's another flaw he had, you know? But in the end, he was really embarrassed by it. But all of his people were kind of like, it's okay. And it's kind of like, it's okay if you're not flawless. Like, no human is. And it's kind of, oh my god, words. Oh my god, what is the word? Unimaginable. No. Not dumb. I don't want to sound harsh here. Crazy. Okay, I can't think of the word. But basically, it's a little crazy. No. And like I was saying about veering from God, you know, if you lose your faith, you know, no, never mind. I'm just not going to talk about that one. We'll talk about that later in another one. But yeah, great book. It's actually really interesting and kind of funny. Next, Macbeth. Alright, Shakespeare. Like I said, this one was also one that was kind of hard to get through. Actually, I think this one is harder than Beowulf. Yeah, because Beowulf was in another language. Well, no, that's a lie. It was in English, but it was Old English, so it's basically another language. And so, like, because of that, a lot of the books on Beowulf are translations, and those translations are a lot easier to read. However, Macbeth is Shakespeare, and no one translates Shakespeare. It's just Shakespeare. And so that's real hard. That's real hard. And especially Macbeth, because there's this whole play is basically an equivocation. Like they just speak in equivocations. It's crazy. And so it makes it even harder to understand. But it's still good. It's still good. There are a lot of funny moments and a lot of risque moments too. And this book that I got was actually written in with notes. So there were some notes that helped me get through it. Yeah, like even the second time around, it was kind of a little difficult, especially one scene in an act. I don't remember which one it was. So Macbeth is about Macbeth. No, I'm just kidding. This king. Yeah. This man. And basically, he comes across these three witches. Him and his friend come across the three witches, and they tell them these prophecies. And then Macbeth gets real into it. He gets real obsessed by it. And he kind of takes things into his own hands, which really the whole time, the whole play, you're kind of like, did this happen because of fate or because Macbeth made it happen? And it's real hard. It's good discussion. It's good conversation starter. Because you know, if he wasn't told these prophecies, would he have still done the thing he did? Or did he do them because he was told that there was an opportunity? Like, I don't know. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of tragedy. Like, a lot. I'm probably gonna forget. Like, there's a lot of murders. Maybe like 3. Maybe 1 suicide, unconfirmed. And then another death in war. Probably forgetting a lot. There's a lot of killing. And so throughout the whole thing, Macbeth kind of goes crazy because I guess I can say he kills someone. I don't know who, but he kills someone. Actually, he kills a lot of people. And so he goes crazy and he starts like having this crazy thing in his consciousness and he starts hallucinating. He goes a little cuckoo. And there's a lot to pick from here. Yeah, there's a lot to pick from because Shakespeare also kind of plays with gender roles here, which is a thing in another book. And he plays with the idea of being obsessive over one thing. And like I said with Macbeth, he was obsessing over the prophecies, and that was not good. And so I kind of took from that, you know, you can't really obsess over one thing. And oh, obsession leads to passion. Oh, I'm connecting things. This is gonna be great. Oh my god, this is good. I should do a better version of this video to study for my final. So yeah, it's not good to obsess over one thing because you start getting all of this passion, right? And that kind of just blinds you again, and then you're just going crazy, and it's not good, not healthy. And another thing that I had mentioned before is equivocation. So equivocation is when you tell the truth, but it's not necessarily the truth, but it's not a lie either. So I guess I'll say the witches. Let me see if I can find it. So when the witches make the prophecy and tell Macbeth everything, they say the truth, but it's an equivocation. Like, there's a little, you can take it 2 ways. Now I gotta find that one. Hold on. Another example, a good one, it's a little better one, I think, is Macbeth visits the witches again to kind of, he gets paranoid that he's gonna lose his throne, and he's just going crazy, like he does throughout the whole play, and he wants to know, like, what's going on, what's up. So there's 4 apparitions that come to him to tell him was Gucci, and the 3rd one, right? So yeah, the 3rd one is this child crowned with a tree in his hand, and he says, so basically he's saying, like, you're not gonna die until the forest moves to the castle, like, gets up and moves. And so Macbeth's like, psh, that isn't ever gonna happen, you're crazy. And so he kind of just brushes it off. But what happens is the soldiers from this army cut down the branches from the trees in the forest to kind of hide. Not all of them. Do all of them? I don't know. Well, they cut off the branches and like hide behind them and start moving, so it looks like the trees are moving. So technically, the forest wasn't moving, like it wasn't the trees moving on their own, but the apparition wasn't lying. You see what I'm saying here? Wow, that was kind of really long. There's a lot to discuss with Macbeth, like a lot. There's a lot to discuss with all of them. I probably should write better points for some of them because I have a test coming up. Okay, anyway. So the one I'm reading right now is called The Passion, and I really like this one. Mostly because it has a lot to do with my life. Because I'm a little too passionate about some things. It's not good. And so this one kind of covers, um, it talks about passion and love being two different things. I mean, it doesn't directly talk about that, but you kind of get that with what's going on. And it's where love is something that goes both ways between two people or more. But passion only is one sided. And passion is something that you obsess over. And passion, you don't end up, like, the more you obsess over a passion with someone, the less you become passionate about them and more passionate about the passion itself. So, like, you crave what you feel rather than craving them, which, on the other hand, is what love is. Like, you crave that person, like, you want them. And I really like it, and I'm not done with it, which I should be because we started this book today, which is about a pandemic. I haven't started it yet. It's easy to read, but it's kind of hard to follow along because I think it's kind of written in like a diary sense, and the first section and the first part and the second part are in the point of view of two different people that come together in the third part. So it's like two different stories, and there's like a lot of flashbacks and like, I don't know, it's like a mind gymnasium you gotta get through. But it's really good. I started writing some notes in it too, not a lot, and it wasn't like for school notes, it was more like personal notes. There's a lot of really nice quotes that I like from here. It's really beautifully written, and I'm not done with it, like I said, but there's a lot of symbolism in here too, and there's magical realism, which we talk about in our class too. Really, the biggest thing here is, like I said, differentiating passion between love and, oh, there's also gender role switches in here too, where the male character here is more feminine in his qualities, and then the female character is more masculine in her qualities. It's really interesting. There's a little bit of scenes, like rated R scenes in the book, so don't read this to your kids. But it's really interesting. I haven't finished it, like I said. I kind of already know what happens in the end because I was reading the lectures or listening to the lectures. I just don't want to finish it because I don't want it to end. I know that sounds stupid, but I need to. And then Station 11, haven't gotten to it. Maybe I'll record this again. Anyway, thank you. I think it stopped recording. Oh no, it didn't. Good. Okay. Yeah, thanks for coming. I don't know if this is ever gonna be posted. Anyway, thank you. Bye.